what's your name? Come on and walk with me. I'll take you on this journey, and then we'll go. Stranger, what's your name? Come on and walk with me. I'll take you on this journey, and then we'll go. Stranger, stranger, you are no stranger to me. Oh, stranger, stranger, you are no...
Man, we are live. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Kosher Vids podcast. Today I have with me a very special dude, all the way from Lakewood, New Jersey. His name is Yedidya Gronstein. Gronstein. Yedidya is an alumni of the Waterbury Mesivta, and he's the journey that he's gone through, and how much he's steiged. What a person!
Thank you.
Yeah, very special
that.
person. Thank you. We'd also like to show you a picture from one of our Kosher Vids fans, and here it is. Okay, so today's subject is going to be how to take your rule book and rip it up into shreds. Yep, that's what Purim's all about. Okay, so here we go. Let's get started. Throughout the year, okay, here's the concept, the major concept we're going to be talking about. Throughout the year, you create for yourself your very own rule book. And you have rule over rule over rule. And the name of your rule book has a title. You know what it's called? This is me. This is who I am. Okay? I am the guy, and maybe through the year you discover that I am the guy that likes bananas. But I don't like avocados. I'm not that type of person. It's not me. It's my identity. Like, I'm this, I'm not that. And I'm the type of guy that talks to these type of guys. And I realized this year that those type of guys, they're not my type. And I realized also that I like to dance, but I don't dance in public. I do dance with like 3 people, but 4 people is already too much. I like public settings. What?
Don't dance in the mirror.
Yeah, I don't dance in the mirror. I like public settings, but not like too public. I'll do like bar mitzvahs, but not like chasanas. Nah, that's not me, not my type, right? And you start getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So many rules over. It's like I am the type of guy that gets tired at exactly 3. So from 3 to 4, I don't do it. I can't. I am not the type that can actually function at those times. I need to go to sleep. Yeah. And when I wake up, don't talk to me because that's not me, right? You know what I mean?
I'm that person.
Yeah. And I'm the type of guy that I like I like sports, but I don't like learning. It's not me. It's not who I am. I try. It's just not who I am. And we get rule after rule after rule and become so confined and so small. Along comes Purim. And guess what the message of Purim is? You know what the message of Purim is? The message of Purim is you are exactly who you are not. That's right. That's who you are. You are not your old person. And I'll bring you proof. If you stay, you're born in your own world and you create your own world, okay? And you already got it. You got the point. You know your own world. I have my own rules. I go to bed at this time. I wake up at this time. If I go past a certain time, then I'm going to be tired the next day. I like these foods. I like these sports. I don't like those sports. I don't like those foods. You got it. You got the picture, and you're mad bored of your world. And the proof is, just lock yourself up in a closet. After a while, you go nuts. Why? Because you want to see new worlds. You want to see other people's worlds. You want to experience other worlds that you never saw before, right? Yeah. That's why you're on this earth. You're not here to be you. Being you is exactly who you are not. You're exactly the other person. That's who you are. And you're exactly what you are not. You are not, I like bananas. You are, I don't like avocado. And that's the next step in your life. Who you are not. That's who you are. You have to try that on as a self-identity. I am the person who expands to who I am not. When you come from that vision of your life, you are going to start living so much more powerfully and start stepping into worlds that you never experienced before. And you're going to feel an expansion like you've never felt before. And that's what Purim's all about. Purim's all about taking your rule book, ripping it up, all those things. This is who I am. No, you know who I am? I am who I'm not. Before Purim, I only like Litvish. I don't like Hasidish. I don't like Sephardim. Along comes Purim. Nah, I like Sephardim. Nah, I like Hasidish. I don't dance in the middle of a circle. Drink some wine? Yeah, actually I do dance in the middle of a circle. I don't sing in public. Nah, actually I do sing in public. I don't like learning. Nah, come to Purim. Yeah, I'll start learning in the middle of Suda, you know?
Is that why we dress up on Purim? So that you can't say who is Hasidish and who is Litvish and who is this and who's that because it doesn't matter?
I think perfect. You did just saying, that's why we dress up on Purim. I think you're saying it. You're not asking, you're saying it. That's why we dress up on Purim. I'm this type of guy. I'm like a very wealthy. I dress like this. No, nah, actually not. I'm actually not. I'm the poor guy. You know, I'm a businessman. Nah, actually today I'm Superman. Now, you could be whoever you want. You just gotta expand. You gotta step into a new world and see what it's like. I could be a lion. I could be a tiger. I could be you know what I mean? You could be anything you want to be.
You can be a turtle.
You could be a turtle, and there's something to learn from the world of turtles and the world of lions and the world of tigers. There's something to learn there. Step into that world, see what it's like.
I think the lesson to learn from turtles is that, like, take everything with you because, like, if you lose your house because it's like on your street, and then like gets burnt down, but like if you carry your house on your back, like, unless you get burnt down, which you're not going to need your house anymore.
You got your house wherever you go.
Yeah, like backpacking.
Yeah, minimalist. Learn from the turtle. Be a minimalist. Yeah. Yeah, you don't need all the big stuff. You got your house everywhere you go. You're happy no matter what, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's what to learn from every single person. You know, for a while, I used to say, like, I used to have this thing, honestly, personally, that I don't like rich people. Like, it's not my world. Like, there's a lot of babyish, like, yo, look at my car, and I used to, like, so I used to have this thing against rich people, and I just hated that world. And, like, you know, sometimes I'd be associated with certain very wealthy people and be like, bleh, because it's like, look at my car. You know what I bought yesterday? And then they're having phone call conversations about like $50 million, like in public, like it's nothing. And I'm like, bleh. Like that's so like haughty and so gaiva-dick and so. But guess what? You know what I got to learn? It's all good. They're in there. I learned how to step into the world and see. You know what? I live in my world, they live in their world. It's a different world, and they're so good in their world, and they're such nice people. Like for them, it's just different. That's all. It's not better. It's different. For me, I like to talk about hiking. You know what I mean? Because that's what I'm into, or whatever, or the outdoors. So I have a conversation with Yedidya about going on a crazy hike or whatever. Their world is about money. So they like talking about the latest business deal that they had, which just happens to be $60 million. You just have to experience it from their world. We're so stuck in our world, and when we see a different world, like, no, that's not me. I'm this, not that. And we disassociate ourselves from other people and push them away. And we make ourselves super, super small. I don't do that. That's who I am. We end up super, super small people. When you start to just say, hey, it's just different. And actually, that is me. That's my next step. I want to see what the life of the super rich person is like and why they're like that. And I want to see what the life of the super poor person and what there is to learn from that. How much humbleness you learn in that world and how satisfied they are with the small things. There's such a world that I missed. Step into it. Don't say, oh, no, that's not me. I don't hang out with poor people. That is exactly who I am. I am who I am not. I'm the next step.
I can become who I'm not.
Try that on for a self-identity. That's what Purim's all about, okay?
Growing up, I like to call myself an anticonformist. Like, it was one of the things I did was, if you gave me a set of rules, whether it be at school or at home or in a friendship, and I would do everything I could possibly do to
I was his dorm counselor.
I would do everything I possibly could to make sure that you were the most uncomfortable you've ever been in your life because I didn't respect any of your rules. I didn't follow them. I did what I wanted to do, and I wouldn't listen to society. And then I realized, like, that is one of my rules. Like, one of my rules is I don't follow rules.
Wow.
So now I've been trying to follow the rules.
You said that good.
Thank you. Yeah, so now what do I got to do? I got to try to follow the rules. But then
because that's the step that's who you're not. So that's who you are.
Right. But now if I become that person who follows rules, then I'm no longer, then I have to go back. I think it's really about stepping outside your comfort zone. Meaning, for example, all my life, it wasn't even a rule. Like, I never thought about this. I took warm showers. Like, I always take hot showers. That's, I think, what most people do. And then I had a friend tell me, hey, I started this challenge of 30 days cold showers.
Anyway?
Yeah. And I was like, hey, that sounds very interesting and very uncomfortable. I'm not going to do that. I was like, enjoy, whatever. And he did 30 days, and, like, secretly I admired him, but would never tell him because, like, if he knew I respected him, then it was, like, the end of our friendship, obviously. So I never said anything to him. But then one day I was like, you know what? I have to try that too. And I started taking cold showers. And, like, once I started doing it, every person I told about it was like, why would you do it? Is there health benefits? You know, you could probably get very sick. That is not a good idea. Or I wouldn't do this. And, like, so many people told me so many different things about why not to do it. And I was just thinking, like, what's everyone so afraid of? Like, it was uncomfortable. I'm saying now I could take a cold shower for 20 minutes and be very comfortable inside there. Like, it's a regular warm shower. But, like, why is everyone so afraid of it? And I would tell people, like, no, there's literally nothing to it except that it's not my usual life. And I like to change things up, and I like to get out of my comfort zone.
Wow.
And I've gotten so many faces.
I'm such a fan of that. I'm such a fan of that. Like, you're literally doing it to train yourself. You're making a muscle for yourself. Meaning your ultimate goal is not just for showers. It's to train yourself that I'm the type of guy that takes the next step. Where there's discomfort, like that.
Like,
that's exactly what I want to expand into. I'm not the guy that I was yesterday. I'm the guy that I am not. And I'm willing to take what it takes to be vulnerable, to take the risks and whatever is needed to take that step, because that's what life's about, expanding into who I am not. That's who I am.
100%. And you have to walk into that shower. The amount of time I found myself procrastinating in the beginning of I cannot do this. And then I'd have to go to my shower. I'd take a 3-2-1 because never back out of a 3-2-1. That's a lesson for life.
You just count down.
Never.
3, 2, 1, bam.
And I would just hop in. And, like, you know, now I can do that. If for example, Akiva Balsam asked me to, like, he didn't ask me to do this podcast. He's supposed to do it with somebody else. And long story short, I heard him doing this podcast, and I counted 3, 2, 1, and I was like, "Hey, I'm being part of your podcast." And I didn't get, like, and it was like, "Hey," he's just like, "Okay, sure, yeah, you want to come do a podcast with me? Come." And I was like, "Wow," you know, like, I could have been afraid to ask. What happens if he did say no? Then I would be like, "Oh, this guy doesn't want me talking to the camera because he doesn't think I look good." Or he doesn't think what I have to say is smart. But, like, and there's so many things you can, like, you know, you're talking, like, you know, it's amazing tests of my life where I became a huge fitness, like, I call it junkie, addict, I don't know, like, whatever. I, like, Gymshark, whatever. I would just sit in the gym. Like, I would go to the gym all the time. Then I got injured. And the doctor told me, sit on your bed and do nothing. And I came home and I cried. I literally cried. I called up a friend that was bawling. I was like, I'm supposed to sit here and do nothing? Like, all my life, I've been pushing myself, get out of bed, go conquer life, do stuff. And then, like, they tell me, like, the best thing you could do is just sit in bed, do nothing all day. And it was, like, a huge challenge to, like, realize that this is what I'm supposed to be doing in life. It's not always about, in life, doing what, like, is, like, what the world tells you to do. The world tells you to be active. But for me, the most, like, healthy thing was to not be active. Yeah. And that was, like, a moment where I realized, like, my rule book is so stupid. Like, I have, like, go be active. Like, should I always be active? No, who says? And then, like, it makes, like, I had a lot of time to think. And I think it makes you question. And I think, like the Mesilas Yesharim says, you know, intelligent people always question what they do. You know, question things like that are the norm. You know, step out of your box. Go walk outside without shoes, like your mom said to not do. You know, like, you will not get glass on your foot. Don't worry. Just go and do it. Like, you'll be fine.
Yedidya, I want to share with you something, exactly what you're saying about doing some crazy stuff. One of the most powerful things I've ever done in my life that has been platonically transformational in my life has been going to Rabbi Yom Tov Glazer's Possible Use Seminar. If you didn't go yet, you should definitely go. You're going to see a different world that you never saw in relationships and who you are. And it is a lot tied into like the landmark world, and if you know what that is, and these other seminars. But Rabbi Yom Tov Glazer was my first experience into that world of the transformational and how you build your world from your own goggles. Everything's in your brain. And it's unbelievable course. And one of the things, the homeworks that you had to do was you have to do something that's absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
You know?
I remember doing that with your seminar.
Yeah, I copied Rabbi Yom Tov. So you have to do something absolutely crazy. And it was so empowering. It's like you had to do something crazy and then you have to go and get rejected 5 times. Like homework. You have to get rejected. And it was so cool. The shifts that made in my life and the amount of times that I use that. I do his homework all the time. Like not even when I'm in his seminar, you know? It was so empowering because I realized I'm so locked into what other people think of me and the perception of me, and I can't go out of the norm and stuff, that I'm so small like that. And when I got to do that, I got to see a whole nother world of, oh my gosh, I'm so much bigger than just other people's perception. And you know what? Most of the time they're not even looking and they don't even care and they're just worrying about their own little world, you know? So that was something really, really powerful that I learned from that. And those type of exercises, by the way, it's not like, we're not saying like, oh, have a life of doing nuts things, be nuts. It has nothing to do with be nuts. It's do an exercise every once in a while to get you out of your comfort zone, to reflect as a muscle for yourself that your life should be a life of growth and stepping into who you are not. That's who I am. That's the type of life that you're practicing and do a practice. But even more than that, those practices will come by themselves. Those situations will show up by themselves. Were you ever in a room where someone passed gas and the immature kids are like, oh my gosh, it stinks, who did that? Take responsibility. Be nuts. What would it be like to lie? That's not a lie, that's truth. The real Torah definition of lie, it would be a lie not to say, if you lied, that'd actually be the Torah MS, would be probably to lie, because you're going to save somebody else's face. That's MS. To save somebody else's face is MS. So Torah is much more than just like, oh, it's a lie, it's true. Lie. Go ahead. Do you have the guts to do that? What about if somebody passed out, chas v'shalom, and there's a medical emergency? Do you have the guts to say, hey, we need people, and take charge? Or do you know how many times people die because there's a medical emergency and everybody's like, oh my gosh, what are people going to think if I take charge? Like, what if I mess up? And then people will be like, he was just joking. The guy wasn't serious. He's not really sick. And like, you made yourself look like a fool. Like, people are scared of that. You know, people are scared that they'll yell out in public. Like, wait 1 second, people are going to look at me if I yell out in public, medic, or call it solo, or, you know, and start doing stuff. Like, what am I going to look like? And there are people that die like that because people live in their own little bubble. They're so constricted and they're so like, oh my gosh, I am who people think I am and I can't be anything more and I can't try new things.
Yeah, I think like there's this person called Wim Hof. Me and Akiva both know very well who he is. He's a celebrity in both our worlds, I like to believe. He has like the world record for the longest time sitting in ice. And like I was listening to him talk and he's like, people always try to say I'm a freak of nature, I'm like a crazy athlete, whatever. And he said like he's saying a story and he was saying how he was a regular person and his wife died of like, his wife committed suicide because she was super depressed, and he decided to like make it his mission to go out and do life, like whatever his life was. And he like made this breathing thing where you breathe and you're able to do that. And I have like a bunch of friends, we will go into freezers, like close the door and just sit there and breathe, and like in our underwear, and it's like a walk-in freezer. And like it was in the beginning, it was like so like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. And like when you do the breathing, you realize like, hey, I can sit in a freezer that's freezing cold. I go into like ice rivers, like, you know, you crack the ice, you go inside there. Like so many people just like say, I can't do that. Like, oh, I'm not the crazy type who does these kind of things. And like You don't have to be the crazy type to do these things. We've seen kids who have not the crazy type do these things, and they have like the most eye-opening thing.
Do you know what his whole? This is amazing. You know what his whole theory behind his whole thing about his whole thing is cold exposure. So it's the healthiest thing to be out in the freezing cold. Start thinning down your jackets, which I started doing actually. My jackets are getting thinner and thinner over the winter, or no jacket at all. It's the healthiest thing. Like that which you've been taught, hey, wear a jacket outside or else you're gonna get a cold. Actually, if you don't want a cold, you should not wear a jacket. Like you should slowly start acclimating yourself to the cold. And cold exposure is so healthy. You want to hear the lumdus of what he holds? Why cold exposure is so healthy for you? By the way, I think, did you do winter dip with us?
I did.
We did with Yeshiva. We started like every year. We do winter dips. We go down to the lake and we go. This year we went like 29-degree weather.
I went last year.
We break open the ice.
Much colder.
And we're there for like 25 minutes in a bathing suit. We jump in, out. We chill. It's the funniest thing. It's like we're at a beach just in the middle of the winter. Yeah. We have a bad good time.
I remember it took us like 20 minutes to crack the ice open. It was so thick.
Yeah, I made a vlog of it. But yeah, we actually have a video of it on Kosher Vids somewhere on the channel. And anyways, so his shita, this is so interesting. So like what we're saying, but you know what his shita is, why all this cold exposure is so healthy for your immune system and for your skin and your whole body and your whole workings of your system, is because your body is literally created to have stress. It needs stress to be healthy. It's a machine that's cut out to face stress. So your body is cut out to face the elements, and today, in today's age, we're too comfortable. We have too many heating and too much, everything is perfect. It's actually not healthy for our immune system. Our immune system, we're cut out, we're machines that are created to face stress. To work hard.
You know, it's like
the coolest thing.
The body is made to work. It's made to, your mind enjoys jumping out of the comfort zone. Why do people love skydiving so much? The view is amazing, but something tells me people are not paying $100 to see that view. Because you fly in an airplane all the time. People fly in airplanes, you see the view. So why do you feel the need to go jump out of an airplane? It's because it's so scary in the mind that it's so scary to go and do something that's so unnatural to jump out.
That's when you feel
jump out and you're all psyched up and you're like, woo, let's do this. You get so rushed and when you do stuff that are so uncomfortable, you get the most, that is when you are the most happy. When you play sports, when you're doing stuff that you're not comfortable doing, it's the most relieving.
Yeah. Okay, so I wanted to give another example of stepping into who you're not. You know, I run a summer camp, and this is of course not an advertisement. It just happens to be that I'm giving a large example from the experience in Lost Camp, where you can find your registration at lostcamp.org. I think on the right top. So lostcamp.org, Lost Camp. Best camp in the woods.
Wait, did you say it was lostcamp.org?
Yeah.
Oh, lostcamp.org.
Yeah, lostcamp.org. Did we didn't say lostcamp.org?
Yeah, I think we may have. Lost Camp, this crazy good camp.
So anyways, lostcamp.org, sign up over there. This is not an advertisement, of course not. And this is not also, and this is not also, and this is not also, and this is even more advertisement because now it's getting, okay, whatever. Anyways, so in Lost Camp, this is the thing that we discovered. When at first I was very nervous. Baruch Hashem, I think we've had close to probably 150, maybe 200 people altogether involved in it over the last 6 years. And it's a very intense traveling experience. It's a transformational experience. It changes lives. And in this experience, what we have discovered is that it doesn't really matter if you come in liking nature or not. I used to be so nervous accepting kids that were not into nature. If you had to ask me the percentage of kids that are joining Lost Camp because they like nature and because they like hiking in the outdoors and sleeping in tents and all these things, I'd probably say it's about 50%. 50%, I'll give it to you, of the kids that join, okay, fine, they're into nature, they want to go hiking, they want to experience this and that. About 50% have zero interest. I don't know, zero, but very little interest. And the reason why they're joining is because they have a good friend that's going. Their chevra is going, or their mother said, this is what you got to do because there's nothing else to do in the summer. So we're very nervous at first. Oh my gosh, these kids are not coming for for outdoors. We're going to be left with a bunch of complaining kids that are not interested and they're not going to experience it. Guess what? Over the years, we've discovered this, and we have a very, very good, effective feedback system, Baruch Hashem, where we call kids after the experience and we ask them how it was and what they gained and what's going on in their lives, that they gained from this experience. We have Baruch Hashem, Chaste Hashem. If you introduce nature to them the right way, we have a 100% success rate. Now, I'm talking about kids that have told me before they come, I've heard, meaning way before they came, they've said, I'm not a hiker. That's not who I am. I'm not the type of guy. I don't like nature. I don't do hikes. I don't like going camping. I'll never sleep in a tent. I don't sleep on the ground. That's not me. And they only came because their friends were going, okay, oh man, what am I supposed to do, right? So they're schlepped along. They come, if introduced to them the right way, 100% success rate. They're in love nature. It's amazing. They're pushing themselves beyond the limit. They tell me afterwards, oh my gosh, I could sleep anywhere. I'm starting to go on hikes. I'm starting to organize hikes. I'm starting to go backpacking. I organized a backpacking trip, and in Israel they're doing different trips, and they tell me, I get the feedback, and it's so inspiring to watch. But the real fire that comes from that is that the realization that they say, oh, that's not me, and then they realize, oh my gosh, actually, I'm so much bigger than what I say I am. I am exactly what I say I'm not. I could sleep on floors. I could go out of my comfort zone. I could eat in the woods and make my own meals and set up my own home, tent, sleep on the floor. I could be squished in a car with 11 people, and I could learn how to get along with anybody, squished in a little 4-person tent with 3 people who you might not be best friends with, and in the vans with 11 other people that you might not be best friends with. I could learn how to make that work. I could learn how to make days and hiking and make it fun and learn how to be nature my home. And it's an amazing process to see people going way outside of themselves and becoming who they are not.
Yeah, I think what you're saying.
It's not an advertisement at all. I was just saying as an example. That's all.
I talk to people who say like, oh, I don't learn Hasidus, and then like a year later you talk to them and they're like, oh, I've been learning Kutei Moharan. It's amazing. I think it's my sefer. I love Rabbi Nachman. And you're saying like, what happened? And they're like, I had some free time and I picked it up once with like a good.
Gave something a try.
And they loved it. Like,
they found it.
I think you just have to try. You gotta break the rule book. Now, if you don't like it, like you're still you. Nothing happens.
Do you like tuna fish? Did you like tuna fish growing up?
I don't know.
I hated tuna fish. Did you like guacamole?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you like guacamole?
Yeah.
This is the craziest thing. You could ask you could do statistics on this. Like when I was a kid, I probably could have sworn to you that it's who I am. Like I'm not the type of guy that likes guacamole. And if I would have stayed like that, I would have been losing out on something that's so precious. I would have been losing out of the world of guacamole. Imagine that, right? Imagine if I would have stayed with that identity. Nah, it's not me. Like that's not me.
So
I don't eat
guacamole and chips.
At some point in my life, I said, no, that's me. I do like guacamole, and wow, guacamole and chips, the best. And that meal is challah and guacamole, and so healthy. And so I could have been missing out from that world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's with so many things that are like that. It's not just guacamole. There's so many things in our lives. When we're kids, we say, "Oh, I don't like tuna fish."
Spinach.
Guess what? Like
How
tuna.
many people do? I think if we all came with the same expectations we had growing up to the rest of our lives, I don't think spinach would be grown anymore. Because I don't know any kid that likes spinach, but you meet adults all the time who love spinach. I love spinach. I think you shouldn't give this a try. Go out, take your rule book, and break a rule.
Yeah, I'm personally currently what I'm working on. This is something I'm working on in the present. Is I've been saying for years. I've been saying this, and everybody who knows me knows that there's one. I'm a very low maintenance guy in general, but there's one glitch in my system, and I've been saying this as like a given. Like it's this. There's nothing to do about it. It's like who I am. Like I cannot stand the heat. Like I'm a cold guy. I don't like the heat. People that know, when I come to their house, the first thing I do is I go to the air conditioner, beep, 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 I put it all the way down. Like give me the coldest room in the house. And I'm so to speak, I was like so to speak a mafunik. Like this is who I am, and I tell people like there's nothing I can do about it. Like I don't.
Personality.
It's who I am. Like I don't do heat. I can't. Like it's just there's nothing to do about it. Whatever. I'm working. It's a bunch of garbage. It's just a bunch of garbage. I cannot start saying I have to change my language. I'm using my language to define who I am. I'm never going to be able to change. I could like heat. I could like it. I could learn how to like it. I could learn how to sleep in 75-degree weather. Come on. It's a bunch of hogwash. I just have to learn how to start seeing that world and how to start learning to enjoy it. I've been saying, and I have to change my language. So now what I'm working on is instead of saying, oh, I don't like heat, or that's who I am, right? I am a type of guy that can't stand heat, give me a cool room. Instead of that, what I'm working on is saying, hey, right now, I would prefer a room, like in the present. It's not who I am. I'm working on stop saying, I am a guy who hates heat. I hate heat. That's who I am. No. No. I'm trying to use words in the present. Hey, right now, I'd prefer a room that's cold because right now I'm kind of hot. You know what I mean? Or for tonight, like I'd rather not sleep just for now.
So
it's not me. I'm gonna learn how to expand.
So you're saying to like stop defining yourself.
Yeah,
like,
we use language to box ourselves in, and then we get stuck because we said that. Like I could be stuck with a person who doesn't like heat. I probably am, just because I've been saying that for so many years. Even at this point, I could probably learn how to like heat. You know what I mean? I'll give you the perfect. This is the craziest example. I used to be such a mafunic about noise when I sleep. If you walked into me and you even opened the door and I'd wake up, I'd get so upset. I couldn't even fall back asleep because I was so upset that you woke me up. And I knew if you woke me up, that's it. I'm done. And then my day, I had to have exact amount of sleep. And if I didn't, then my next day would be a total wreck because I needed exactly 7 or 8 hours, whatever it was in yeshiva. And people knew that. Like, you can't come into my room because I was like soul thing. And if anybody woke me up, my whole next day was ruined and I was upset and this and that, whatever. The whole thing was a bunch of bogwash. 1 year, I literally, and this actually changed by Rabbi Kalish when I slept over Rabbi Kalish in Rabbi Kalish's old house. And Shabbos afternoons, it was a party. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And I think it was my first time ever sleeping at Rabbi Kalish's house. I knew I want to experience being at Rabbi Kalish's house for Shabbos, but I knew that Shabbos afternoons there, and one of my rules was that Shabbos afternoons, I need my nap or else I'm so upset, Motzei Shabbos, and like, I need the afternoon nap. But I knew coming in to Rabbi Kalish's house for Shabbos that he has a lot of kids, especially when in the olden days when his kids were much younger, and there's a lot of stuff happening, kids chasing each other, fighting, and in a good way, like, and playing and stuff, and running in and out of different rooms, and playing hide and go seek in your room sometimes, they'd come in. I knew that it was going to be a party, and I consciously said, you know what, I had enough of this, that I can't sleep if there's noise or stuff. And I consciously said to myself, I'm going to Rabbi Kalish's house and I want there to be noise. Not only that, I'm going to change my perception of noise. It's not noise. It's alive and kicking. I'm changing. I'm stepping into a different world. I'm going to learn to appreciate sleeping while there's noise. I'm going to learn to appreciate. And whenever the kids are making noise and they're fighting, I'm like, wow, I love that. Because you know what? I love the sound of kids playing at parks. Don't you? It's a soothing. It's like reminds me of my childhood, So I'm like, do the same thing Shabbos afternoon. I'm not even gonna go to sleep. I'm just lying down, enjoying sounds of kids sounding alive and kicking, and that's what I did. And I fell asleep in like the biggest, trippiest trance ever. And I woke up. I had one of the best sleeps of my life. I couldn't believe I did it. Guess what I did after that?
Tried shrooms?
What?
Tried shrooms?
Not yet. Not that extreme. My next step after that, the next year, the next step, it was that year, I think. I think it was that same exact year. What I did was, I was a dorm counselor. I purposely said, I want to sleep in the noisiest rooms in the dorms. And this was on the A floor, the bottom floor, with the 9th graders down there. They're up to like 2, 3 in the morning, like blasting music. People will walk into you like, hey, Shlomi here, like 3 in the morning sometimes. They're the younger chevra. The more excited guys, like, it was like the noisiest thing. I said, in the front room, in the old building, the front rooms. So and I'd leave the door open so people could come in and out purposely. Because, I said to myself, you know what? You could sleep with noise. When you register that the noise is okay, you'll fall asleep. As long as your brain subconsciously knows that the noise is okay and that it's safe, you'll fall asleep. It's when you say that noise is not okay. I don't agree with that noise. That noise is bad and it's not okay. Your brain is trained to wake you up whenever it hears that noise. So as soon as I learned to accept all that noise and all that stuff as kids alive and kicking and having a good time. And I like it. I like going to sleep hearing vibes of pumping music and stuff like that. Wow, alive and kicking.
Wow, mind
I trained myself literally. I went from extreme, from point like 0, -5, the terriblest, worst, easiest person to wake up, to like I could sleep anywhere. And it changed my whole sleep patterns, and I could fall asleep anywhere. I could fall asleep in the base mattress. I don't know if that's so good. I trained myself to literally learn how to just accept it. So all these years I was saying, no, I'm not the type of guy that could fall asleep when there's noise. And all of a sudden, actually I am. Yeah, I am that type of guy. Such a good feeling and and wow, like I got life. Like I could do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
So go out there, rip up the rule book, it's out there.
Yeah, I just want to end off with Adar. Yeah, I want to tie it all into Adar, and that is, like we said before, we dress up. It's that, this is me. That's not me. This is what I dress. I'm the other guy. I'm Litvish. Nah, I'm Sephardi. I'll dress up as I'm Hasidic. That's what Purim's all about. You drink a little bit, and this is my suggestion for you, is that before you drink on Purim, and you get a little tipsy, and everything starts getting blurry, sit down and meditate a little bit and think, what is it going to look like when I get drunk? What is it going to look like? Why am I getting drunk? And my suggestion to you is that what you should have in mind, and try to imagine this, is that once you get drunk, you try to visualize this before you get drunk, that this is how it will look when you get drunk. This is your goal. I'm going to go in with a goal. I'm not just going to hefker and, crazy and punch people in the face. I'm going with a goal. My goal is that when I get drunk and everything starts getting blurry and all the borders go down and all the boundaries go down and I see someone talking to me, I start realizing that he is me. And give that guy a hug.
Wow.
That's my goal. That's my goal. Like, when everything starts to get blurry and the boundaries go down, you start realizing I am not me. That's exactly who I am not. If I was just me, I'd be so happy just remaining me. Why am I always looking to share with other people and create and build and go to the next step and step into other world? Because I'm not me. That's exactly who I'm not. I'm searching for my other pieces. I'm just a piece in the puzzle, and I'm so much bigger than me. I'm him. And as you're blurry and as you see him talking and you see this guy singing, like, oh my gosh, I'm singing, I'm talking. What a trip, right? If you talk about trips, this is the best trip ever. Try to do that. Try to chap, oh my gosh, and go over to the guy, give compliments, say, wow, you're doing so good. Like, I saw you grow so much, and like, see yourself in the other guy. See you as him. That's me. That's my next step. My expansion is the other people. And that's Achdus. That's what Purim's all about. All right. With that, thank you so much for joining us here at the Kosher Vids podcast. Do not forget to subscribe, as that supports our channel. And it'll be very, very good for us. If you could do us that favor, that would be great. Thank you so much, and have the best Purim ever.
If you like clicking buttons, click the button below.
Hey, stranger.